United stand, a little bit raw, but it's raw news. Daley Blind will officially leave Manchester United. He will be going to Ajax. It's been announced by the club on Twitter in the last few minutes. So, you know what? The good goes with the bad, doesn't it? And first of all, I think, it's very easy to be very optimistic about potential signings and going live about this, that, and the other. But we must also be respectful of those players who have served the club and have done well for the club. And Daley Blind, I think, is a player that certainly fits into that category. I totally agree with him being sold. I think he would be classed as the deadwood sort of player that needs to be moved on from Manchester United. But actually, he's just a likeable player and a classy player as well. I totally agree with him moving on from Manchester United, I've got to say. But I mean, George Lewis has just said good riddance there. But I don't necessarily agree with that. I think in relation to Daley Blind, I don't think Mourinho ever really fancied Daley Blind, let's be honest. He wasn't a player that was massively involved. But the thing that will endure with me about Daley Blind is, and it's been a bit up and down, is the fact that if it wasn't for him in the last month of the season that we won the Europa League, then we would have struggled. Our centre-backs were nowhere to be seen. It was when Jones and Smalling couldn't get off the treatment table. And Daley Blind came and played in the centre-back. And I think he played in the final, didn't he, as well? But he definitely played in that last month and got us over the line. So I think he's a player that goes about his business, very professional, a good ambassador for the club and himself, and I wish him all the best. And it's just not. I think I think Daley Blind playing as a midfielder in the Dutch league is fine, but the Premier League just never really suited him as a midfielder. As a left back, I personally think he was. There was a time when he was our best left back. I remember under Van Gaal he played at left back, and a lot of people saying it should be Luke Shaw. And I always felt that Daley Blind had such a good left foot, a wonderful left foot in so many ways. And remember that fantastic goal 4 years ago in the World Cup that Van Persie, the header, the scorpion header, that was the cross from Daley Blind and his left foot. So yeah, fantastic left foot on the player. Little bit lacking in pace, but and also we must not forget. I mean, I don't want to sort of wear red tinted glasses on this. He's not a Manchester United player anymore, and he played in a centre-back pairing under Van Gaal in Van Gaal's last season with Smalling, but he had two centre defensive midfielders in front of him. So it was, Daley Blind ultimately being moved on is the correct thing to do. I think he's an Everton player. That's what I've always felt about Daley Blind. But I do wish him good luck, like Chris has said. And this is a positive for United to finally get somebody out the door. And I feel bad saying that about Daley Blind because I don't put him in the same category as a Matteo Darmian. I think he has been a good player for us, Blind, and there are players there who I think are worse than him that will remain at the club. I mean, I don't understand what Phil Jones is all about. I think Daley Blind's been a more consistent performer than him, but we do need to move some of these players out, and I can't. On one hand, I want to say what a good servant he's been to the club and wish him all the best, and I think we all should do that. But on the other hand, I think we need to be ruthless. We were a long way behind Manchester City last season. We're a long way behind everybody in the transfer window so far. And moving on, Darmian and Blind were the two players that, for me, with Fellaini, had to be moved on this summer. And it wasn't necessarily about disliking them as footballers. It was about what's best for this club. And we have got a top-heavy squad with players that are around the same sort of level, which for me is an Everton sort of player. With all due respect to Everton, the sort of players that just aren't Manchester United quality if you want to win a title. And I think Daley Blind was struggling to get on the bench last season, so it was totally and utterly the right time for him to move on. We've more or less recouped the money, which is a good thing. I mean, that's something that Jose Mourinho has brought to this club and instilled in Ed Woodward, is that getting rid of players is one thing, but getting rid of them for the right value is another. I think the money we got from Memphis and Schneiderlin last year was fantastic, and I think what we've got from Daley Blind is about right for what he's worth. He's a good left back, good look, Daley, and model professional, says Andy Ferguson. Luke Shaw to Everton, says Ahmed. Well, we'll see about that. Mark, you look shattered, says Oliver. I think it's just the lighting in here, to be honest. The lighting is rubbish in here. I've just popped into the conservatory. I'm just prepping to do the transfer show for tomorrow morning, and I saw it popped up. Blind is 10 times the better player than Jones, says Albert Einstein. Pogba's not for sale from DiMarzio. Well, we know that. We don't need DiMarzio to tell us that Pogba's not for sale. We know Pogba's not for sale. Pogba's not going anywhere, is he? But Daley Blind, yes, I'm happy the deal's been done. I'm happy that he's got to move back to Ajax. I'm very surprised that Ajax have actually got the money to do it. So I'm really pleased that he's got that move back there because I think it's best for him. A lot of people wishing him good luck, which is fantastic. I like that. I think that's important. I mean, we go live, wouldn't we, if Alexandro was nearly a Manchester United player? So we should certainly go live when people who've been a good servant to the club are leaving the club and respectful of them. So Daley Blind, as I said, there's a lot of things he's done for this club, and his passing was very, very good. I never really fell into that myth that a lot of people used to regularly put in the United stand comments. Daley Blind in a midfielder. Daley Blind's what we need in the midfield. I never fell into that trap. He was never a midfielder for me. He was never a midfielder, certainly not in the Premier League. And just so that isn't an enduring myth that continues with Blind, because I'm sure we'll see some people saying, "Oh, we should have played Blind as a midfielder." The reality is, I remember him playing there against West Brom in the first 2 months that we bought him away from home. I think he actually scored. We equalised. I think Fellaini came on and scored, and Blind got an equaliser late on. We were 2-0 down. But the game passed him by, just too slow in the midfield for the Premier League. And I think I'm right in thinking that Mourinho tried it out with him last season. And again, he's too left-footed, which is not a bad thing, but he's no good off his right. And to play in the middle of the park, you've got to have some ability on your other foot. And he's so left-footed, and he's not quick enough for the midfield in the Premier League. I think somewhere like Ajax, he could run a midfield. I think in La Liga, he could probably play as a centre-back quite comfortably. But in the Premier League, I think out of the three positions people think Blind's good at, I would say his time at Manchester United, I would say third midfielder, second a left-sided centre-back, and first I actually quite liked him as a left-back. A lot of people used to say, "Oh, he gets done for pace," but Ashley Young always gets skinned, and he's quick. I think Daley Blind's positional sense and football brain were really good. I just think he lacked I just think ultimately what stopped him really being successful at Manchester United is he lacked a yard of pace. And I think it's quite interesting that and I believe he's only about 27 now, it's interesting that he has decided to go back to Holland and not gone to Italy or La Liga. I think that's quite telling, because I don't think there would have been many people who I think there would have been clubs in for him. Yaya Toure says Darmian. I just thought I saw someone in my back garden. Then it's a bit windy, which is not normal. A few people are on about Perisic. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'll talk about that in the morning for you, being as somebody's mentioned it. He wasn't too great for crossing, hence why we used Young as well, says DG1. Yeah, I don't know what went wrong with Blind and his crossing ability, because he is very good at crossing, but it never really worked out. Here's a comment from United Prodigy. Thank God Blind is gone. One of the worst players for losing concentration in a split second I've ever seen in 35 years of watching football. Wow. It's been good, Blind, says that. We need Sandro. Blind's never really given a proper chance. Hopefully somebody will come in now. Lozano and Pavard from France incoming, says Alejandro. It's going stupid, isn't it? Now the World Cup's over. We're going to start. I can see us doing a lot of videos over the next 2 weeks. I need to get some sleep because it's going to go all stupid, isn't it? Why is Darmian still at the club is a big question. Darmian should have gone first. Blind, I've got a lot of time for. Darmian just needs to go. He really does. Mark, do you think we're going to make any more signings? Says Video Gamer. Yes, I do. I do think we're going to make more signings. I hate seeing United like this. It breaks my heart, says Ballsman1. Remember, drop a like on the video. Drop a like on the video for Daley Blind. I think he's been a good servant. And like I said, we needed him. We needed him at the end of the season before last when we won the Europa League. Smalling and Jones got themselves injured, and Daley Blind stepped up and did it. And I think he's been a decent show. I'm not staying up till 4 a.m. today, Shinna. I'm staying up for 4 a.m. for the kickoff on Thursday when we play Club America. Jones needs to leave. This is somebody else. Respect for Blind. I'm very happy with everybody there. I mean, I can't sell you what I think people should think, but I do think we should be respectful of Daley Blind. He's been a really useful player in his time at Manchester United. Certainly, like I said, when we were in the Europa League. But also, I mean, I think last season was just, the writing was on the wall, wasn't it? I almost feel with Darmian and Blind, why didn't we sell them last summer? Because if you look at them collectively, what they did for us last season, very little. They weren't used very much at all. So I am quite surprised that we kept them last season. The only thing I remember of Darmian was him getting skinned against Yeovil and Bristol in the semi-final. In the quarter-final, sorry. And Blind, I don't really remember Blind playing much last season at all. Any idea who will replace Blind, says Leon Daley? It's a very good question, that is. I don't think Daley Blind's being replaced. I don't think Daley Blind's getting replaced at all. Our squad is very, very, very top-heavy. I think we've got nearly 30 first-team professionals, and Mourinho ideally would like it to be down at around 22. So I think Blind and Darmian leave and they don't get replaced. I mean, Dalot is effectively a replacement for Darmian, and Blind wasn't even making the bench last season. So I don't see Blind's not really being replaced. I think if we were able to get Sandro, then Luke Shaw needs to go. If we were to bring in a centre back, then Jones or Smalling need to go. I don't think Blind is a replacement in himself for anybody. Luke Shaw next, says Sakin. Well, Luke Shaw might dig his heels in, and he might just say, I've been treated badly. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to go for free next summer if you don't play me, and that's going to stop you signing Sandro. I mean, dangerous games Manchester United are playing at the moment, because if we're not going to sign a left back because we can't sell Shaw, what does that mean for Luke Shaw and his popularity at Manchester United? There's a lot of people who like Luke Shaw. I like Luke Shaw, but if we're keeping Luke Shaw to be understudy to Young, and that stops us buying Sandro, who would have been number one, then that is a bit of a concern. Jody says, respect to Daley Blind, model professional as well. And I liked that comment there because I think it's very true. Dean says that Blind is our best worst player, and I think that is probably the nail on the head there from Dean, that Daley Blind is, when you talk about the deadwood that needs to leave the club, if I had to name 5 players that need to go, Daley Blind would be in there, but he wouldn't be my number one. It would have been Fellaini, Darmian, Jones, and then, well, would I really? I mean, we're not going to get rid of Ashley Young, are we? So I would have got rid of Young before Blind, but Young's staying. But Daley Blind's definitely the nicest and best player that we need to get rid of, and we do need to get rid of him. So had a super chat there from Jive Josh in Manchester. Says, did you hear about Sanchez US visa issues? Yeah, we spoke about them on the 8 o'clock show, which was absolutely fantastic. If nobody's seen the 8 o'clock show, it was absolutely brilliant. You've got to give it a watch. Some of the calls were so good. So good. Young and Valencia, if it was possible, says Gabriel. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to go, are they? Daley has been good for us, and I'm going to miss him, says Jordan Curley. Yeah, likeable player, but I've got to be honest, I did feel as if he left last season. We didn't really see him as a United player last season. I thought he was going to go in January, actually. But him and Darmian need to go. Darmian's on the US tour. He needs to go next. They've got no future at the club, and they do need to be moved on. And the good thing is, we get about 16 million for Blind. We'll get about 14 million for Darmian, and that's 30 million in the coffers, isn't it? I mean, that's hard. That's covered Dalot's fee. So really, we've only spent 50 million on Fred. So, and that could come down a bit when we sell Darmian. So there's a little bit of money there to be spent. We need to get rid of Martial, says Luke Thompson. I'm talking about Martial at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Got an interesting theory on him. Yes, definitely. Martin was very good. You're right. You're very good. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell on it for too long. Daley Blind's gone. It's official. The club have announced it. He's been a decent servant. Please drop a like on the video. I'm back at 7 a.m. tomorrow for you. Thanks everyone for joining me live now. If you're not watching live, give us your comments below. Give us your comments on what Daley Blind will endure to you. What are your memorable Daley Blind moments? Thanks everybody for watching. We finally sold somebody, which is a positive. Hopefully we're going to finally start buying some people as well. I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.